Hi, I'm Aros Crystos and we are here in beautiful Oxnard, Southern California, and I'm here with Carole Dean from the Heart Foundation.
Aros, I was hoping that you could give us some insights for filmmakers because, as you know, documentary filmmakers and independent filmmakers are our greatest resource in America. And they are dealing with very hard, difficult conditions these days because of lack of funding and finding donors to support their films. So it's very important that they understand what they can do to put themselves in a place where they can have the confidence that they can get the money they need to fund their films.
That's a very good question, and it's not just about filmmaking, it's about a shift. If you watch here my shirt, I happen to have this beautiful heart here in the middle of my chest. And that's really where it's at. When we start understanding who we are from a more dimensional level, we will move directly into the heart. And from the heart, everything looks very, very different. So this question you had, Carole, is not just about filmmaking, it's about an attitude adjustment for everybody on this planet right now. Because as we shift into a different frequency and as we are accessing more of our dimensional self and understanding more and more who we truly are and not our storylines or our accomplishments, we are accessing an energy that will guide and produce results that are otherwise not possible. In other words, if a filmmaker are going to make a movie, he or she might think, I'm going to go and do this documentary about a certain subject, they automatically becomes the doer. When we're moving into the energy of the heart, we are not the doers anymore. With other words, we are opening up ourselves to be a vehicle, be a channel for ways of putting a film together that is so far beyond our intellect and our current understanding that it takes a brave soul and an open heart to make that happen. So my suggestion would be for filmmakers to find a quiet place, really truly a quiet place, and ask for the assistance of the heart and the soul. And because the frequency are shifting on the planet right now, where these questions will be answered more and more rapidly, it's not a foreign territory anymore like in the olden days. It might be very hard to access the energy of the heart and the soul and get answers. Now it's set up in this way that as we turn within, the answers will come more and more quickly. And the trick here is to truly trust what surfaces. It's not about an intellectual exercise here to fit it into our old way of looking at things. It's trusting in that magic, in that beauty, and in that frequency, in that energy, where everything is born out of, the source of everything. So for the divine to create a documentary is nothing. If I step out of the way and become the vehicle for this, anything is possible. Now I know that the intellect wants to hear another answer. They want to hear a practical way of approaching this. I understand that. At the same time, the times we are living in are not conducive to that anymore because things are speeding up so quickly. So if I want to make any kind of a movie, why not let God or my divine self be the director, or also connect with my galactic family, which I'm part of. The human consciousness, the human family is part of a galactic family. And if I bring them into play and work with me, the results are going to be truly magical, and things are going to happen that is not easily understood. At the same time, the results are going to be so amazing.
So you recommend giving that each filmmaker take at least 15 minutes a day as their own time to reach what some people might call their higher self or the universe, right?
Yes, absolutely, because what is happening right now, the energy and the channels to your higher self has never been more open than they are right now. So as we ask consciously for this assistance and trust in the answers that are surfacing, you will see miracles happening, not just for filmmakers, but for anybody who are part of a creative journey, a creative adventure, if you like. And it's also to bring us to this understanding that we are all one. We are all working together and co-creating together. Even though we might not have been consciously aware of it, it is still a fact and is still the truth. And now more than ever. So it doesn't make any difference if I make a movie or I want to create a clothing design or I want to build a factory, whatever it is. When I bring the divine consciously into my life and in this journey, anything is possible. And also the beautiful part of it, if you're going to make a documentary, let's say you're going to South America and do a documentary about people who are farming bananas, it's not just that you are tapping into your own divine self, you're tapping into the self of all of these people who are farming bananas. And because there's no separation, there are no limitations. In the same way as the whales in Hawaii might start singing, and the same tone and the same frequency would be picked up by whales in Baja California.
Even though they can't hear them.
Absolutely. And so the same way here, when you let the divine or the galactic family to become part of your journey and part of your creations, it's going to be experienced by these people in South America who are doing the farming of bananas. And you don't need to understand it. You just need to trust it.
So this is where doors open, where there were no doors before.
Of course, because they couldn't open before, because you looked at yourself as the doer. And when you become the doer, you are then creating obstacle after obstacle because you have an arbitrary way of looking at it, and you don't see everything from a flowing point of energy, one source of energy, right?
Yes.
So you then create one obstacle after the other, and then you're dealing with separations because you're dealing with these people over there or these people over here, and you're separated from them, right? So
right.
Immediately you've stopped a creative flow.
So by giving yourself time to connect to the universe, to your higher self, Deepak Chopra calls it the higher self,
right.
Whatever it is for you is put you in the mainstream so that things begin to come to you.
Right. Fortunately, we want to call that the mainstream now because it haven't really been the mainstream before. You know, it's been a few individuals. And also, I need to emphasize here something. When I'm talking about the Galactic Family, they are very real. There is a human family, humanoids, in many parts of this galaxy that are now assisting and helping what they call their brothers and sisters on this planet. So it's not just about tuning into your own divine self. Also ask for assistance from these beings because they are here to support and guide and help us to awaken to our creative genius within ourselves. So it is like if you would call a relative in New York
Yes.
and ask for assistance, you now call to your relatives in the galaxy because they're here. And you can find them more clearly now than ever before. That's part why the communication with dolphins and whales in the open ocean is so powerful, because the telepathy between the human heart and the heart of the dolphin is clearer than any spoken word.
And you've swam with the dolphins many times.
Oh my goodness, I've been off and on for many, many years interacting with the dolphins in the open ocean. And they asked me several years ago to be one of their ambassadors on the planet. for their message. And part of the message of the dolphins is that reconnect with your galactic family, because they came from a different star, from a different frequency. So it's really important to understand that you have a family in the galaxy. Truly.
How exciting.
It is very exciting, and that's part of my job, to be an emissary for a larger part of our human family in the galaxy.
Right.
And because they are ahead in their consciousness and ahead in their technology, when you connect with them, it would be like you connecting with Einstein or Da Vinci or somebody, so you could talk to these people, right?
Right.
Or Nikola Tesla. You know, imagine if Nikola Tesla was alive and you could ask him questions. Well, would be quite interesting, wouldn't it?
It would be fabulous.
Exactly. And in the same way here, with the galactic family, understand you have that possibility right now.
So in parting, what would you like to leave the filmmakers with?
Well, understand that we're living in such tremendous times of transformation, and that being a filmmaker in today's world, you are not just making a film for the present moment. You are creating a vortex, an opening for other people to experience really who they are. Because as you're making a documentary from this understanding that we've been speaking about, you will come to see that the real camera is the divine consciousness. And as we access more and more of that, you will not just affect people immediately right here. You will affect the human evolution. You will affect the next paradigm. So you become a filmmaker for this giant transformation that is happening on the planet and in the galaxy. So when you understand that, anything is possible, and you're in for a tremendous ride and an adventure that is undescribable and can only be experienced with that thrill, with that joy, with that beauty, and with that absolute astonishing energy that we really are. We are divine, multidimensional beings.
Thank you so much.